Today, I thought we would do a little hair tutorial. Welcome in, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you want all the good stuff, and if you're new here, you might want to consider signing up for my Sunday morning email newsletter. The link is in the description box down below. It is hands down one of the most popular things about my channel. Everyone loves it. What I do is every Sunday morning, I send out a very short, very sweet email newsletter talking about all the cool things I found throughout the week, whether it's a great piece of information, a good sale, a product that I'm so surprised how much I love it, whatever I would share with you if we were out together having lunch. That's what goes in the Sunday morning email newsletter. You can sign up super easy. It's just a link in the description box down below. It's totally free. It's totally fun. I think you're gonna love it. I have been wearing my hair a little bit different lately. I don't know how much different, but I am using a center part for my bob. I've had a bob for a while. Generally, I part it on the side. I've had a few of you ask me, how are you styling your hair now? So I thought we'd go ahead and do a quick little tutorial, and I'll just show you how I do it. Everyone does it a little bit differently, but I can share how I do it. It's pretty doggone easy, and there's only a few things that you really need to keep an eye on to make sure that the look works for your face and you can do it time and time again. So my hair is not fresh hair. This is like 2-day-old hair, and it's probably been 5 weeks since my last haircut. But you can see that the shape of my hair has stayed pretty good. The color is still pretty good. I do have a little bit of outgrowth, but right now that's kind of a cool look, having a little bit of root outgrowth there. What I do when I first get out of the shower is I dry my hair. Now this is my favorite hair dryer, hands down. This is probably my favorite hair tool ever. I don't use this to completely dry my hair. I just use a little cheapie. This is a $20 Revlon dryer because this does it faster. So I'll go ahead and dry the majority of my hair with this hair dryer, inexpensive but a lot faster. And then in order to build volume and kind of get a nice bend and shape in the hair, I'll pull out my Revlon One Step. This is amazing. If you've never used one of these, this completely changed the hair game for me. I had such a hard time holding a hair dryer with a round brush, trying to get that whole thing to happen. It was a nightmare for me, and I generally just didn't do it, or I would start in, get frustrated, and quit. This changes everything. This really creates a lot of volume. Now, I actually have very thin, fairly straight hair, and you can see right now it doesn't look like that. It looks like I have a lot of hair, which I don't. It's just that this gives a lot of volume. You just roll it. You put the hair on and roll it. It is so easy, and it really is the way that I style my hair most days. Now today I'm going to go ahead and put a little curl in my hair using this new center part look, and I'm going to be using a flat iron. This is from the company called Duval. They sent me this probably close to 3 years ago. This is a higher end flat iron, and one thing I can tell you based on my experience is that it is so much easier with a good flat iron. There are lots of good flat irons out there. I'll go ahead and link a few down below. You don't necessarily need to get this brand, but if you do this look more than a few times a month, it's probably worth it to get a good flat iron, because you're going to get the good heat that's going to really move the hair and adjust it how you want it. So this is the Duval, and I have it on the second to the hottest setting. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to section off my hair, because I only want to deal with a certain area at a certain time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to section off this little top part part right here, which I kind of call, you know, the icing on the cake of the hairdo. This is where you actually create the shape that's going to frame your face. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that middle section and I'm also going to section that off, and I'm going to start flat iron this bottom section. So just using a comb, I'm going to take my flat iron and watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to place it parallel to my head and I'm going to turn it, and right before I get to the end, I'm going to flip that turn so I have a little flip in my hair right here. Let me show you that again. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it from this side. So I'm going to section off a little thin strip of hair. I'm going to place the flat iron towards the root. I'm going to bend it, and right before I get to the end, I'm going to turn that bend into the other direction. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that all around the back of my head. Same movement, and we're pretty much going to do that same movement all the way around the hair through all the different layers. And you might be asking me, how do you figure out when to turn it when you're doing it behind your back and you can't see? You just get a sense for it after you do it a few times. You just can kind of feel it. So I'm going to take this last little bit over here, place that flat iron near the roots, bend it, and notice I'm bending it back, and then I'm going to flip it up right towards the end. Now I'm going to let that second layer down and do the exact same thing. I'm going to take just a thin section of the hair, place it near the roots, bend it, and we have a longer bend this time because this is a longer piece of hair, and then I'm going to flip it out right towards the end. And see how I picked that up and really folded that piece in? As the hair is warm, as it cools down, it's going to set that bend. So I want to make sure that I support that bend and it doesn't loosen up. And now I'm going to do the same thing all around the back. And you don't have to be worried about getting it perfect because most of this hairdo is just messy. And it doesn't matter if it's messy in this way or messy in that way. You just want to get that bend into the hair. Let me bend down a little bit and see if you guys can see it, and then flip it up. Now, as I work on the crown area of my hair, I want to make sure that I have lift in it. So I'm going to make sure that I'm down at the root, I bend, and then pull that out using that bend and then flipping it. And you can see right there that I've really created quite the lift at the crown area of my head. I'm going to continue to work my way around, bending and flipping, and then the last little section, bending and flipping right there. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and flip that a little bit more right towards the end. The last section, or kind of the top of the hair that frames the face, is, in my opinion, where you really want to think about the shape of the hair. What I try to do is I try to frame my face. And if I'm going to have my hair going around my face, if it's going to be curling out at all, I want it to be at or below my cheekbones, because that's going to frame that area of my eye, really accentuating that area of my face. So I want to make sure that I bring that bend down further so that I'm not disturbing that line on my face. So I'm going to really pull this one out for a while, and then just towards the end, bend that out. Now this area right here, I'm going to go ahead and section this into two sections because I want to make sure that I have it exactly how I want it. So I'm going to bend for quite a while because I want to get that below my cheekbone, and then just flip it towards the very end. Same thing with this last piece. And I find that having it not quite as curly curly or bendy towards my face ends up being a better look. In other words, it frames the face in a more, I don't know, elegant way. So over onto this side, I'm going to grab that hair that was up. I'm going to start sectioning it off down to the root. I'm bending it back, and right towards the end, I'm going to flip that bend towards the root, bending it back, keeping that initial bend nice and long, and then right towards the end, we can pull a little flip in it. And see, isn't that just a nice shape right there? Again, towards the roots, bending it under almost to the end, and right about the ending, then we just bend it up a little bit. So here we have the bend in our hair. What I usually do now is brush my teeth. If I didn't have my lipstick on, I've actually already brushed my teeth. But I'll go do something, make the bed, empty the dishwasher, whatever, because I want my hair to cool down. Once it's cooled down, it's going to have a better chance of keeping that bend in my hair. So right now I'm going to take just a couple of minutes, let my hair really cool down, and then come back for the styling. Okay, it's been a few minutes. My hair has had a chance to cool down. One of the things that I do at this stage is I leave my flat iron on because I don't know if there's a little area that I might want to bend or smooth or something. So I'm leaving my tool available in case there's changes. Does that happen often? No. Because this is just basically a messy hairdo with a little bit of framing around the face, the details aren't what matters. It's more of the style or the loose of the hairstyle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my pick. This is not an expensive pick. This and my comb came in one of those little sets, like, I don't know, 10 combs for $2.99 or something. I don't have an expensive pick. This has worked just fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling out those curls and getting this more soft and more loose around my head. And you can see in the back, I'm just loosening up the hair. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on getting volume at the crown of my head and getting the back all smoothed down and kind of in a messy style. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that hair up at the crown of my head. I'm going to take my comb and I'm going to back comb just a little bit. Then I'm going to hit it with my NIRA 25. I love this hairspray. I've been using it for years. And I'm going to let that set just for 10 or 15 seconds so it has time to dry down a little bit. And then I'm going to take my comb and I'm just going to start smoothing that area down. And again, this is kind of a messy hairdo, so it's not like you want everything to be in a perfect place. You just want it messy and loose and kind of bendy and fun. Now I'm going to take that same pick and I'm going to add a little bit of volume right here with a little bit of back combing and a little bit right at the root line in the framing area of my face. You can spray this if you'd like, or you can just back comb it a little bit and leave it. So now that I have everything sort of messily in place, and you can see right here how important that framing of the face is, so that this is a smooth frame until down to my cheekbone area, where then we have a little bit of bend in the hair. In addition, I try not to have a perfect part when I do this hairstyle because the hairstyle is very messy. So having a part that's a little less than perfect, I think really fits this style. And you don't have to worry about it's not bending here, it's not bending there. It's mostly just a really super easy, super fun, super loose, messy look. So now that I have everything just sort of in place, I'm going to go ahead and hit it again with that NIRA 25, just really lightly to kind of keep those areas in the messy place they are. And there we have it, just a super loose, super messy, easy to do style. If it looks complicated now, trust me, after you've done it a couple of times, you'll be able to whip through it really quickly. Every time it turns out a little bit different, but it's always fun and it's always just a really fresh, fun look. So here is the style. I think it's really nice, really fun, and just a fresh take on a hairstyle. So to recap, what I use is I use my Revlon One Step to get some volume into my hair. Then I use a good quality flat iron. And then the only other things that you need are some hairspray, a pick, and a mirror so that you can see behind you when you're styling your hair. So again, you can see how fun it is because it's just messy around the sides. And so if you get your hair messed up during the day, nobody's going to know the difference. It really is just a fun, easy hairdo. Well, I hope you found this fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle, and hairstyle for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.